Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm Stephanie Fisher. I'm a licensed counselor here in the state of Michigan, and I'm owner and operator of In Progress Counseling. Today we're going to try to develop why stating things like boundaries, expectations, things that are helpful, our preferences, stating them in the positive can be significantly more beneficial, both for us, the sayer, as well as for the person receiving our expectation, than it is to say something in the negative. So let's say, for example, I live here in Grand Rapids, and let's say I decide I just don't want to be in Grand Rapids anymore. Well, that opens up an infinity amount of possibilities of where do I actually want to be. It tells me what I don't want. It doesn't give a lot of thought or clarity to what I actually would like. And so when clients come in and say, hey, I need that person to stop speaking that way to me. Okay, well, they could also make it worse. They could make things more difficult. They could make things more complex or more muddled. So to say that the negative doesn't always orient us towards clarity around what are we actually asking. And so I ask clients that often. And in my own trying to process through how I want my relationships to be navigated, I ask myself as well, hey, what's the expectation I actually have here? Not what do I want to stop, but what do I actually need to see more of? And so one of the things, and I will freely speak with anyone about my slower processing style. Now, it doesn't mean I don't understand things in real time, but I actually spend a lot of time thinking through, okay, what did that mean? What was going on there? Why did it show up there? And there's a lot of kind of really mining through what's happening in front of me for me to make full meaning out of it. So if someone comes at me with intensity, urgency, rapidity, I typically have to say with a specific expectation about my processing, I'll say, hey, I think we need to move a little bit slower. I'm missing some of what you're saying. Or if we go into some of these historical videos I've done, I'll actually use a lot of strategies to slow the whole conversation down. So I'll use mirroring, I'll use clarification, I'll use some reflective listening practices. And that's not because the other person can't speak as quickly as they want to. It's because if they expect it to go well, I, staff, actually need it to go a little bit more slowly just because I process somewhat more slowly. So to state that in the positive, I can say something like, hey, can we take it a little slower? I'm trying to keep pace here and I want to make sure I'm catching everything. Versus I get defensive and say, quit talking so fast. That's not moving us towards anything because I'm not articulating what the stressor actually is. The stressor is I'm a slow processor. Can we go a little bit more slowly here so I can stay up in the conversation with you? When someone is saying, hey, I don't want him to make me feel like crap, or I don't want her to make me feel like crap. Well, I don't know what that actually means. It means they're doing something. There are behaviors that are leading to, or communications that are leading to a felt sense of not experience it in a very loving or kind way. So I'll ask clients, what are you asking to see more of? Maybe more patience. Hey, could you be a little bit more patient with me? Maybe clearing things up by giving more detailed explanations. Hey, can you give me a few more details here? I'm not quite understanding yet. Maybe it's, hey, I need you to use a gentler tone with me. I'm feeling a little sensitive today, and I'm hoping that you can kind of, walk away from some of that sharpness and be a little bit more gentle with me. When we talk through what I want more of, it's going to help me explain to someone what I would actually like to see less of, but I use it in the framing of things that aren't helpful for me. There might be a lot of people where, quick, rapid fire, sequential topics, it goes well for them. It doesn't for me. So I make a first person request and say, hey, would you be willing to invite me into the conversation a little bit more slowly? I'm having trouble catching up here. I'm letting them know what's happening for me. I'm giving them the positive. Could we go about it more slowly? Versus the negative, like, stop talking so quickly. And that's probably what I'm feeling inside. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. I'm feeling a little rushed. But when I give them insights into what's happening and I state an expectation in the positive, typically that can help develop more healthful communication styles. Now, let's say I make that request to someone, and this might be a whole separate video, right? But I say, hey, can you talk more slowly? I'm not feeling like I'm able to keep up. And they're like, well, that's on you. I'm just telling you, and they keep going. At that point, it's like, okay, I don't know that I can keep up in this conversation at all, so I'm going to have to find my way out of this conversation, unfortunately. When I state it in the positive, I make the request. The best that is an invitation for someone to join me in that space. If they decide not to, that's a different experience. I get to decide what do I do if someone says, hey, your process doesn't matter to me, that's not on me. Okay, that's a different conversation. But typically, stating things in the positive, letting someone know, what am I asking of you right now, so you can join me in this space a little bit differently, so I can feel heard or valued, respected, able to keep up, that can be really, really helpful. The, hey, don't talk to me that way. Well, we can use it as a launching point, but when we make the positive request about, hey, could you speak to me a little bit more gently, or could you take things a little bit more slowly, or I'm hoping that you'd be willing to use a softer tone on me, those are strategies that help us communicate what the discomfort is while inviting in what we'd like to see more of.